telling somebody last night I can't think and chew bubblegum, or I can't walk and chew bubblegum at the same time sometimes, and today might be one of those days. So, again, apologize. Still got a little bit of a cold, so I'll try to go on mute if I have the sniffles or cough, so Alright. So, what things I want to highlight real quick. I'm actually going to just bring this over here to this tab so you can see this. So just did a blog post about this, or not a blog post, this is a webinar blog post, but on the 21st, we're going to be doing a cool little webinar synchronizing your music to a digital fireworks show. Essentially saying is we're going to be pulling in the beats and things like that, and then that's going to signal the fireworks show. Any music you want. It's not going to be any of that like kind of complicated like MIDI files and things like that. We're just gonna have fun with it and join and check it out, see what your thoughts are. So with that being said, let's get started. So, where we've done, or what we're working on, OEE, overall equipment effectiveness. And we have been mainly focusing on availability, which I think we're going to probably do the same thing today, is focus on availability. If you have any questions about what OEE is, feel free to drop them in the chat. If not, we'll just kind of move forward with that. But if you do have any questions, let me know. What we've done is we've installed Portainer, we've installed FlowFuse Device Agent, we've all installed my SQL container. That's just what we're using. I just picked some SQL database. I'm sure people have opinions about which is the right one to go with, but that's the one that I went with. We're going to push data into the MySQL database from Node-RED, which we've done. Data is the status of the production line, which we've done. We've added a few additional data points. We've created a shift schedule in a CSV file, and we've loaded that CSV file into a MySQL database. Essentially just pushing that file via like a post command or a curl. I've got it running through a Python script right now. The thought is you're going to create that shift schedule in an Excel spreadsheet or something like that, and then export as CSV, and then you're going to want to be able to push that CSV file into Node-RED, or in this particular case, your MES system, which is Node-RED. Excuse me. And then that's a pretty cool tool. Highlight that. If you have any questions, I can go over it. And then create a quality data generation, and then calculate availability. So we're going to be focusing on availability today. It's kind of a little recap of what we've been working on. We have already a dashboard and visualization. We created a scheduled downtime. Should probably put then our scheduled downtime as done. We'll worry about that later. But essentially, we've already done scheduled downtime and brought that in. See if I've got any of these up right now. I'm gonna go off, stop sharing the screen just for a second while I do this, and make sure I get the right program up for you guys. All right. Yep. Perfect. So. And in this, essentially, we have the send downtime and then shift schedule. These are just simple CSV files that I've edited them in Excel with, saved them, and then ready for export. We'll probably put some planned downtime so we can play with that today, because one of the things that I noticed is we're gonna, for starting out the shift schedule, you need to put, or for the downtime, you're gonna put them associated to the day. That's gonna be something we'll probably update later, but if you're, let's say your planned downtime is gonna overlap 3 days, you need to split those out. That's something we can work on later, but to make it simple in the math and the calculations, we're just gonna drop it in per day. And that's kind of basically what signifies right here for start downtime, machine ID, and end downtime. So, perfect. And with that, the calculations of the scheduled downtime, you kind of want to titrate the downtime into your system. So when you start calculating OEE, you're not all of a sudden like 0 or 150% productivity, and then you slowly take down over the course of, or if I say availability, you take down over the course of the shift. So I'm gonna think for a second, because I've slept a couple times since the last time I thought about this. But what we're gonna do is, if I'm thinking about, we're gonna multiply the shift completion time over versus total planned. So multiply the shift completion. Okay, so we need to figure out how far during the shift we have gotten to give us a shift completion, and then we're gonna multiply that by the total planned downtime, and so that we subtract that from, I gotta think about the math real quick. Okay. So I think this is gonna be in this message topic. And I also did some changes while we were off stream just to fix up one of this function call because it did need some adjustments. But I won't go over those now. Titrate downtime over the course of a shift time. Alright, let's do a little review on OEE. I wonder if it still have that. There we go. Let's open this up. So, availability. Takes into account unplanned downtime and planned stops, and availability score, which 100% means the process is always running during the planned production time. So, I remember now. So if you have, which is basically running over total time supposed to be running. And what we're going to do is think about this. Let me scratch pad. Because I know I needed to do this because it was kind of looking wrong. So titrate downtime over the course of the shifts. And that's going to be in this calculation. So we have message of payload value. Let's see what these numbers are real quick. Drop debug in here. And I want to see what this spits out right here. Basically, running time, stop time, and scheduled downtime. So, as I look at this, and I look at this calculation, then it's JSON Nada, we have, so the running time over the running time plus the stop time minus the scheduled in downtime minus the start of downtime. So you get the subtraction. So we need to take this number and multiply this calculation times the amount of time we are through the shift schedule, which is basically the shift completion number. So eventually once shift is completed, it'll be 100% and this will be 100% recognized. But if essentially we have scheduled downtime at the beginning, then you're going to start seeing really bad numbers in the beginning, and it just makes it so it's a little bit cleaner. It's not the most perfect way of doing it, but it is a way to kind of get started. So it gives a little bit more trust to the management as they're kind of watching this and be like, hey, we have scheduled downtime. And then we're going to create dashboards, visualize, and set all this stuff. So what we need to now do is calculate shift completion. So let's do that. And that's where we're going to pop it in there. It's right there. So shift completion. And we can do that. So we got to get shift schedule. Anymore. Okay. Shift completion. Shift schedule. So basically what I can do is the so start time or current time minus start time over end time minus start time. So then you get the ratio where we are through the whole system. Okay, so we can probably just do that as a change. Maybe that can be, so we're going to change this to schedule shift completion. Maybe, yeah, that looks. And then we'll change this to JSON-nada. It's not going to let me see this, so what we're going to have to do is copy some of these down. That's one. I want JSON-nada. There we go. We're gonna have to use a cheat sheet too for JSON-nada. So, and so what? It's gonna yell at me, but I just have to see. I've got some JSON-nada somewhere. I think that was actually here. Yeah. Nope. Right here. Okay. Message.payload. Okay, cool. And open this up. And so we need a JSON-nada for current time. I think we're doing millis. So we need to do shift. I'm just gonna create a new line here, and then we can figure that out. So message dot schedule start time minus millis. So basically the start time actually it should be current time minus and what we're trying to do is get shift completion percentage of what we think the normal shift completion is. Again, not perfect, but it's going to give us a starting point of about so when we kind of have a real-time status update of how our shift completion is, we kind of, or where we are at OEE in real time, it just won't look quite as wonky. Of course, it's going to be the accurate number at the very end, but during the time, just because you have downtime, you don't want it to be kind of like tracking, but incorrectly, or obviously incorrectly, because management doesn't like that, because they'll look at that and they'll say, that just is wrong, and they'll never believe it again, and you don't want that. So then we got to do that over the total time. So schedule end time minus schedule start time. Listen, I'm gonna have to add message dot message dot, and then if this works, which I don't see any reason why it shouldn't. Done. That should save that as shift completion. Done. And that was right here. We're just gonna put a deep message object. Clear these out, run it, let's see. And did I do complete message? Yeah. I'm confused because I should see more information here. This message.schedule.shift completion. Complete message. Let's just load that real quick. Okay, that makes sense. And then complete message payload. Why am I only seeing message.payload? It's weird. Scheduled shift completion. There we go. Okay, so it's there. I don't know what's going on with that dead bug. No, it's not looking right. We don't need any more because we see that it proved that it's worked. And now what we need to do is take this path and we're going to multiply it by this downtime. So we're only titrating the shift downtime volume as it goes through the shift. And it'll just it'll fluctuate. And ideally what you would want to do is just completely circumvent that time from your OEE. That just gets a little bit more complicated for what we're trying to accomplish today. And at the end of the day, I want to create something that's easy for people to set up and use within their facilities. There's just gonna have to be some knowledge that there's assumptions. And so what we're gonna do is now we're gonna take this. I know I love myself some brackets because I know my math operations, but with the brackets I can force it. So that was, yeah, message shift schedule. Done. Deploy. And so now to test this, we're gonna add some planned downtime to our calculation. Downtime. Today is the 12th slash 23. We're gonna say there was downtime at 8. And this is planned downtime, AM. So shift 1, and then we're gonna just say it was an hour and a half of planned downtime. This did not, is it recognizing it? Because it's not looking happy right now. Okay, it had to do with formatting, okay. So we'll save this. So when I'm going to come back over here. Ooh. We copy this. Back over here to plan downtime. You say paste. Values. Only what these calculations were. I don't think we need these anymore. Save this. There we go. That's interesting. So for CSV files, it matters what tab you are when you save it, and that's going to be represented as the CSV file. Noted. Let's clear this out. And then we need to run Python shift schedules. Start time is not defined. Let me come back over here real quick. I want to make sure I've got the right. I'm going to just copy this because it seems like there might have been an issue with values. Did I have an environment for this? Probably what the issue is. Groups, activate. Beautiful. Then we are in file, upload to node-red. Python. Send downtime. Okay, that was what it was. I wasn't in the environment. Cool. Alright. So now, when I run this, we should see that there's some. Here's schedule shift downtime. So we're not seeing schedule shift downtime because we should be seeing scheduled shift downtime. Oh, didn't actually scheduling a shift downtime. I didn't put the time stamp in there, so we'll say 8. I got caught up, distracted, chewing bubblegum. This paste values there. That looks right now. Save it. Then we'll run this script again. There we go. Now, we'll run this. Machine 1. This is scheduled downtime. Says 0 scheduled downtime. Alright, let's look at D Beaver. And we are in okay. Machine ID, that's machine 1. And this is the 4th entry. Let's just double check that. 12:23, 8 a.m. to 9:30. That accounts for a little bit of downtime, and a half. And what we can just do is this, 5, 4, formatting, number. There we go. You don't need that many decimal places though. Okay, so 5 million, I should say. And that should be I think I do have that math in here. Let's double check the math. Alright, let's get shift schedule. Just run the shift schedule. Well, we're seeing that in the database, so we're getting that information. So there's not even really a reason to do that. And maybe that's what it is. No. Schedule start time, scheduled end time. Is 1, schedule downtime, schedule start time, and end downtime. So it's not seeing anything down. Alright, so this is one of the things that I figured out the other day. And I'll have to talk to the dev team. We're on Central Standard Time, but Central European Time is what I meant to say. Central European Time to Berlin. It's 5 o'clock. 5:30 or 30. Okay. came back and results were empty. So I'm gonna just do a little bit of math real quick. So this is, so if I subtract this number minus that number, we should see a positive number. Start time is greater than and end downtime is less than or equal to is that supposed to be less than or equal to, I think? Start downtime is greater than or equal to the start of shift schedule. The end downtime should be less than or equal to bug, I think. Scheduled downtime. So it's looking better. So now we're seeing that downtime, which represents okay. I just want to make sure we're working from the latest snapshot. Make sure I wasn't like reproducing something, because that 50 running time, I want to make sure the units on these are right. We did not run for 54 hours or 39 hours at this point, so I got some math wrong somewhere. Drop in some debug nodes. Make it louder all of a sudden. This here for now while I'm working on this. shift completion. Start time. Schedule down, so we're not seeing end down or start. No, we haven't moved them in there yet. That's done here. So it's in downtime. Bet you just drop that. That'll be better. Lost connection. Yeah, this is where it didn't take this change. Okay. And so we have the start downtime, end downtime. We're just going to do some tests real quick. Just make sure we're looking at the right start time. Should be today. Tuesday, 7 a.m. In downtime, or in time. Should be in 2 hours. Perfect. Let's look at start down. And 8 a.m. GMT. Perfect. So that's all. We got all the math there, right? Just want to confirm that. then now we want to see what is coming out of this. That's going to be key. I think we can delete this one. We will just off deploy. And here we have an array of indexes. Let's look at the timestamp here. Value, and that should be okay. Yep, that was the first time. And let's just look at the most recent one. About a minute ago. Perfect. So we're getting data all from the current time frame. And we are where machine ID is 1, message type 1 or 2, and the timestamp is greater than this, which should be 7 a.m. Perfect. And so then we're just pulling all the data since the beginning of the shift. Okay. And then so what is item? Payload for each. Okay, yeah, for each item in the array. Message.payload if previous state is null. It's not null. Gotcha. Perfect. Is item.timestamp item.timestamp minus previous timestamp. So we're going to figure out exactly what happened since the previous timestamp, which we have saved. And the previous timestamp is 1. 1 is running. And went from running to stopped. Running, so we add that time to running. Else, stopped is add the time to diff. If previous state and equals the item message type. So if the previous state and the current state match, so it's a 1-to-1 or 2-to-2, we're going to add, so if a previous state is 1 running time to running time, so we add that. Running time, but time diff. Okay, so then it's calculating there before there. Summed at 439. Okay, so I'm just going through each one of those every single time. missing a 0 here. Okay. So, and now scheduled time is wrong too. That is looking a lot better. Scheduled downtime. That's looking a lot better. Okay, cool. Happy dance. Happy dance. So basically, we have the total running time of right now about 5.5 hours. We've got a stop time, and then we have a total of 1.5. We are doing these calculations based off of. I always forget the terminology. Central. It's right up here. Greenwich Mean Time. And so we need to do that calculation and update these for here, which should be, what did I change? Okay, no, I added this. I should have just done one of these, but it looks like I already did. So I got it right there, but I didn't get it right above. Well, okay. 5.9 stopped hours. So that's 6, 7, 8, 9. 12-hour shift. No stop time. So we're not really having a great day. But so we've got 65 approximately uptime percentage and 40%. So really having a tough day on machine 2. Let's go ahead and make a snapshot of this since we've got it running. OEE or running ability titrated in the downtime. Beautiful. All right. So we've titrated in the downtime. So we can now say that is done. What I'm gonna probably do is I'm gonna call Master Joe, see if we can make some prettier charts for this. I'll do that later though. Alright. Now performance. So now we need to make a lookup table for product type and speed rates. We're probably doing something like parts per hour. Yeah, parts per hour. And again, all these calculations can be adjusted. So performance, parts per hour. Put this back over here. Did I even check this to make sure that yeah, that was right. We're gonna change this. We're gonna create one called performance. Performance. Done. And save. Let's cut off all these debugs because I don't want to see them anymore. Performance. So we need product. We need, yeah, that's lineup manager for product schedule. Let's do product rates first, because we don't really need to work on product schedule just yet because I haven't really done product rates yet. Again, the product rates, yeah. Beaver, and create a new table. Create a table. We're gonna call this one product rates. Hey, I'll be right back. Hey, sorry about that. Had a phone call come through. Okay, so we were doing production rates. We have to create some columns, and we'll say, I think it's product ID. And that is going to be of type int. And I want to say, let me just double check with one of these other databases. So line 1, product ID, same production rates. And we're going to create a new column, and we'll call this rate. And this is going to be I gotta figure out, I forget, real versus float. Real can hold 4 bytes inside, meaning it has 7 digits precision. Float can hold 8 bytes to the decimal. We'll do real. You don't need to be that many characters. Real. It's gonna be a type. We're not going to be perfect, but it's going to be something like 22.3 parts an hour or something like that is what kind of will create. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we'll need from this, because we're going to basically have a product ID and the rates per hour. I wanted to see if maybe there's, I don't really know if I want to put in quality because that's going to be downtime. No, it's just going to make more sense to make its own table. Perfect. All right. Now we need to load information into that table. Why don't we just do another Excel file? And we'll call this one, just duplicate this. And we'll call this rod rate. Enter, and then we'll create a new file, say CSV. And I think I'm going to change this one to send. Just keep it consistent. Send prod rate. So CSV. And then instead of shift schedule, we'll have prod rate CSV. There, and we're gonna just call this one rate. Okay, save that. I'm gonna just kind of leverage the same page. We're gonna group these together too, though. I think they can use a little bit of cleaning up. They are going to leverage this page. One cool thing, I always like to tell like quick button things. So if you press shift on a item, it selects everything in that flow. We're going to say group selection, and this is this shift schedule. Shift same thing for this one. Downtime. One's going to be shift prod. Production rates. Instead of downtime, this is going to be rate done, and yeah, we're going to truncate the table, and then and this one, if we go back to RD Beaver, we have product ID, D, comma, rate per hour. Downtime, we need this to be product rates, and then template. Looking for that. That's here. Now I need to drop this into this template. Product ID, rate per hour. I gotta figure out where these are written into. I think that's probably gonna be the, yeah. That's the CSV that we're bringing in from this. So when the file comes in, it's basically mapping that CSV file. Set matching. So instead of downtime, we've got rates, yeah, with S. And then we need to change this to what are the chances of me getting this right the first time? I always like to. Because we're gonna actually we're just pretty straightforward on this now, because it's not any timestamp, it's just product IDs. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, and actually gotta shift this down a notch. We're gonna call this product CSV. And this one is going to be rate per hour. And say this is going to be 1,065. This one will be 30. 7. We have 8. And say 1,500. 5. And 980. Now, all is done right. That's weird. This should be a CSV, right? Tab CSV. Alright, that's better. And this one should just be pretty much straightforward. Rate, price use fee. So then Python. Now dbeaver. Let's look at the data. There we go. In there. Thanks for joining, following along. Alright, basically we're just sending over production rates right now so that we can start accounting for performance dashboard, because we're done now with calculating availability for now, but we're going to spend more later on just focusing on dashboarding and visualization. Alright, so now with performance, product rates. Really don't have data coming in for product rates. Probably don't focus on that just yet, but I will need to. Actually, I do have the product rates already coming in because that's a part of this data right here, which is a terrible name. But yeah, that's this data all right here because we have message type. Come back over here to, where is that? The notes here. Part count. Yeah. So when we have part count, that node tells me what part we are running. Really almost need one that says when we have a product mode change. Maybe that's mode change. No, mode change would be product ID change. Because really we would be using the Whereas production schedule is more of a lineup manager. It's not going to say exactly when you change the product level. It's usually about on how much you've made. So it's saying like, I need to make 1,000 of these, 300 of these, 200 of those, and when you finish them, then switch. The only time that's usually changed, and again, this is discrete manufacturing that might function differently depending on industry to industry. So we're gonna assume kind of like that first one, which was basically make 200, make 400, make 300, make 500. But now what I need to do is we almost need a product change button. That's kind of like a I'm gonna add a new line here because this is something we can work on later. It might actually be part of this one. Performance dashboard. We need almost like a stored procedure. Stored procedure for product parameters. So if I send a variable of type, let's say I want all the parameters for part 6, for product type 6, that initiation, when I click it, I can use that to say, hey, we are now making this product. So I might actually do that now. We got it, because that stored procedure of saying, hey, we're going from product A to product B, and I now need the mechanism. So anytime I do that switch would just indicate that I'm now moving on to that rate. And then the lineup manager can be a completely different thing. So what I'm gonna do is do like a stored procedure type of thing. Not really stored procedure, but like a get updated values. I really would tie that into like an MQTT system. Basically, when I get a trigger, which would be a request of some form, maybe do it via PLC, maybe do it web application. Really, it's just a trigger. I mean, I shouldn't really concern myself about what that trigger is. For now, I might just make them all Python triggers, and then I can show people how to convert those later. And if they have questions, how would I convert this trigger to something else? We can go through that. The biggest thing is a lot of the times the triggers don't matter. There might be a few bits of information like a product ID in this particular case. So let's do that. Let's create another table. And what this is, maybe I can actually put it in product. I might need to change this one. Rename this. Rename. We're gonna call this product. Product. Details. Like that. I would like product. Info. Yeah, that'll be good. So these can be things like what's some example parameters like temp set. We're going to use ints. Because really what you should do is do everything in integers, and then if you need to make it a float, do that in the PLC. So set point of int. Temp set point. And I'll say like conveyor speed. Again, I'm not trying to. These are conventions. You probably will have a standard naming convention within your plant facility. There's a lot of standards on it. Look up which standard you guys are abiding by. This needs to be not. New column. We'll say, what was that? Conveyor speed, set point, temperature, set point. And we'll change that set point to something else then. Random set point. So we'll just have another one. We'll have this one of type int as well. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a trigger mechanism. Maybe this is an HMI, maybe this is something, maybe it's node red to say, hey, we're doing a product change. Int and let's change this one out, like just for consistency's sake. Set point. Random set point. And we're gonna save this, persist this, and now I have to change things over here. My CSV, because we've changed the table from product rates to product info. And that one, so topic, product info. And so now, I don't think there's any, yeah, good there. Good there. String CSV. Okay, so now we gotta add these additional variables in here. So we got rates per hour, temp underscore s point, set point, convey or speed, SP, and then it's gonna be random set point. So we have another one. So payload, product ID, rate per hour. And drop these in here. Should probably just copy that because it might be easier. Might be. We'll find out if it's easier or not. And so then we have rate per hour. Temp set point. Conveyor set point. I think I'm gonna need more. Set point. I gotta delete that at the end. Okay. Any questions thus far? And done. I think that's it. Let's see if it works. Car coming up the driveway. We add some data to this now. Actually, change this pipe or this send proc info. Rate pod info. reveal folder. There we go. Pull D Beaver up. She is. Add these additional variables over here. Product ID, temp, set point, conveyor, set point, and random set point. And you know, think of these as like set points that for production, because as your product ID changes, maybe it's like the width of the product. I mean, there's going to be so many different things like spindle speeds and conveyor speeds and other things. Sometimes there's machines that will never have a product change. It's just be like, that's what this machine runs it great, never changes something else. So this may not necessarily be necessary for some machines. So for some companies, so you might just set it and forget it. So temp set point, we're gonna do, and again, Celsius, Fahrenheit, doesn't really matter. But let's set to, let's say 209, 200, 198, because of course if you're going slower, it's because of the temperature, you gotta be more, ooh, this one's gonna be closer to 212. It's the fastest one, it heats up, runs it quick. And this one's gonna be 198 as well. Conveyor speed. And these are all things that what we can do is create a dashboard of visualization to see like where these set points are. So you can say like, here's the set point and here's the actual. And so you can kind of like, hey, did these set points get changed? Are we working well? Just make sure that, you know, we're doing all this configuration. You don't want your operator coming in and changing them. And if they are changing them, maybe you should just make that part of that recipe. That's the word I was looking for, recipe. Oh man, I'm not changing it again, but that's basically what this is, a recipe. Conveyor speed, 90. 95. This one's gonna be 80. This one's gonna be 102. This one's gonna be 83. Random set point 15, 12, 72, 14, and 443. 4443. Alright, so let's save that. Let's test it, send it over, see if it worked. I believe in us. I believe in us. I believe. Ooh. Close. Because I changed the name. Let's refresh this over here. Did I deploy it over here? I did. Let's do this again. Right? Did I change? I changed this to product info. Let's save this. Yeah. There's a space here. Or if it's that finicky. Let's review. Something's not right. Do we have commas or spaces up here yet? And we are sending that to product info. We're sending that to info. Did I change the titles? Product ID, product ID for an hour. I don't think that matters. Here. Random. That's weird. I want to see if it's at least clearing it out. I'm gonna delete this. Deploy. And see that send production info. I want to see dbeaver is clearing that out. Perfect. So now we need to see that's doing that right. And that means it's something to do with the loading aspect of things. Payload, product ID, products, set point, random. If it's the type properties. I think that should have been it. so. I edited this afterwards. Product info. Right there. That's it. So frustrating sometimes. Already done the first two. So we just need this one. This one. I think it's a total of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Does media space. Ooh. Product ID. 3 per hour. Temp. Set point. Compare. Set point. Random. Set point. I wonder if it's upset about the underscores. Bad field error. Unknown column in field list. Misspelling, maybe? It is conveyor speed. So now we've put our product rates and product info. Should call this product rates info slash. This would be better called recipe. Did I spell recipe right the first time? I'm so proud of myself. I think I spelled recipe right. Yes. I win. Recipes in there. Anytime we'll see get product. So now when I'm an operator and I'm running a machine and I'm going to change to a new product, I'm going to do a request call that says give me a recipe. So this isn't performance yet. This will be recipe management. All this recipe, and there's going to be some organizational stuff that we're going to have to figure out how to properly put all this stuff together. Just click. And we're going to do this in another request node. And again, it can be MQTT, it can be whatever you want, but I just like working with request nodes because being able to write a Python script to signify, because these things can be coming from HMIs, PLCs, whatever you name it, and all can be replaced. So we're gonna have a request that says we're gonna do a get to say get recipe, and what we're gonna do is when I make a request to get a recipe, I'm also gonna make an entry into another database that says, and again, I'm just making more databases and tables and things like that, but basically it says, hey, at this certain time, we made a request for this recipe. And at that point in time, we will signify we are starting a new recipe and ending the old one. So, and from there, first thing we should probably do is collect a timestamp. So I'm now wanting to basically, we'll do a change node, and we'll call this, I don't want to save it on a payload or something else, because if I save it on a payload, and it'll probably be written over, so we'll do message dot current time, and there we go, current time. I'm going to save the timestamp because we're going to pass that timestamp over into the database, which we might just do now. A lot more databases than I thought we were going to be making. And you know what I probably am going to have to do as well is I'm going to write initiate MySQL databases so you don't have to build all these. So what I'm going to have to do on the back end is say write some SQL commands that basically says create line 1, create L1 shift schedule, create quality, create downtime, create product info. So when you guys are trying to write this out and get this started with us, it's just like a quick boom, make it. And if you're like, no, we'll build our own, then you can do that as well. So we set the current time. Let's create a new table, and they say it's not production schedule, production executed. Production current production, just production maybe. It's really generic and really terrible, but that's what we're gonna call it. And we're gonna have a column case saying timestamp. I'm gonna call this That's a big int because I'm just gonna leverage everything in how Node-RED likes time formats, and we're just gonna keep it in big int. And then we're gonna add a new column called project ID. And yeah, really that's all I need. Is basically anytime I get a recipe, and you can get a recipe multiple different times, and then it'll just switch, and it'll just use whatever the latest one was. Okay, so excuse me. Check something. We're just gonna copy this one real quick. Can't remember. Okay, I can't paste across. That's what I thought. Didn't work for me recently. Maybe I was just trying to go between two different tabs or something like that. That might not work. Alright, so get recipe. Save a current timestamp. I don't think this is the one we wanted to copy. I think what we wanted to copy was here. Control will allow you select. We're gonna call this one production. Change this. Rename this. And let's save this. Persist. Perfect. Timestamp. Missing something like template. I'm gonna have to fix that because that's actually gonna be a part of the get. I also want to lowercase this product ID because that's not how. It's not a varchar. It's an int. There we go. Save that. Persist. So this is going to be the payload, and this just might even be payload. And this is actually just timestamp, I think. Let's just double check that. Setting it to current time. Current time, and then payload. I think we're just going to do a quick curl. I'm going to call this one like simulate. Actually, you know what? I don't feel like doing this here. We're just going to say I think that should be good. And we need, and we'll set the message payload to a JSON. What I say, I just want payload, the value of payload to be right there. So we'll set payload to be a number, and that number is going to be product ID. So it's going to be 1 through 5. So 3. Yeah, I guess we can do that real quick. We'll just create a random. Alright, so delete that. Say JSON, not a random divided by 2. Multiplied by 10. digits or something like that. Where is it? Not floor. No, literally right there. Okay. And so, get a random number between 0 and 1 divided by 2 because I want a number between 0 and or 1 and 5. I get 0 every once in a while. And then multiply by 10. That should work. We might get 0 once in a while and 0 won't work, but it'll be fine. It'll just give me an error. Or I can just make it 0. Actually, I might just have to add 1. Because I might not ever get a 5 either. Because 0.9 to 4.5. So sometimes it would... No, we can't do that. Gray struggles with math today. It should have been the title of this demo, or this stream. Watch Gray struggle with math. Alright. And I do want a debug node here. And we'll clear all this out. Let's see if this works. Unexpected token. Objects is not valid. JSON. Payload isn't JSON. Because it's just represented a number. Easy as do like a change node. Message.payload. Just want to see what this debug looks like first. Looky. That makes me happy. Okay. What if it's as simple as message to payload is value to message. My brain's hurting. Why isn't this working? It worked. So now, and the one time it does do a 0. See if we can find a random inject rate. I don't really want to use another node. This is gonna be weird, but give it a shot. I'm just gonna create a random generator. So we'll just have a change node similar to what we've got here. And I'm gonna save set message dot random to JSONata. And we're gonna say just a random divided by 2 or anything like that, and say about 100. And then split or switch. Not quite random, but it'll be close enough. And so then we can set this inject node to be at a interval, and if greater than or equal to 80, not message but payload, but message dot random. Greater than 80, I think I multiplied that by 100, right? Yep. Then we'll continue on. And what we'll do is we'll change this to repeat on an interval of every say 1 minute. And done. So every minute, there's a 20% chance we'll do a product change. I wonder if I can say and say if. I remember I'm getting a 0 in here, but we'll just leave it at 0 because even though 0 doesn't mean anything, we can add 0 later. Just like run this, we're not going to get anything except for 20% of the time. So, there it goes, above 80. And then we had a message go through, and they picked. So, once a minute, there's a 20% chance that it'll go through. Not quite random, but for our own data purposes, it'll look random enough. Okay. Close that. We don't need to see that anymore. And we're going to group this. Call this random product change. Perfect. So that's going to just be for demo purposes. Really need to figure out how to back up this database so I don't lose everything. Looking for tips from anybody in the chat. Backing up databases. Looking. Alright, so we've only done one part of this right now, which is logged every single time somebody makes a request. What we need to do now, because we haven't even returned anything just yet, we're just leaving them hanging. We've told them we've gotten the message, but we haven't done this part, which was just now that I have a number coming in, I need to take that number and look at my product info, and where it matches, say 4, I need to return the rest of the information. SQL get information. I think I've got something over here, which that's the send data. So, let me go back up. We're going to call this one okay, save set product info. And yeah, we're not done with this one, so we need minimize this, don't need that, don't need that. Alright, let's dbeaver. like star where blank is probably. You know what? I'm gonna just try to figure this out. I'm pretty sure it's as simple as I think it is. Probably not like that. But you know what they say? Change this to 0 for now. I don't want to play around. Your SQL manual corresponds. I'll be right back. I'm going to authenticate this. Actually, I'll just turn that off. You can still see me. Misspelled select from your table. That's what I messed up. That was close. Select star from production. Is that what I called it? Info. basically this would simulate a PLC. Right now we're just using post. It can be done in whatever protocols you want. This is just an example of how that would look. In a case that you might map this to a PLC, again, you're gonna have to figure that out with whichever PLC you're using. But they basically do the same thing. You're just gonna replace this with whatever mechanism, whether that's OPC, and then you're gonna have to have like a trigger bit that says when this trigger bit goes up, do all of this, and then pass that information down, and then probably set trigger bit to 0. I wonder when this response, I'm getting a response back, right? I wonder if these are old from earlier. Would be my guess, because I've got a response there. That might have been from earlier. So now, when I go over here to my dbeaver, I should see my production data. If I refresh this, yeah, we got a lot more information in there now. I wonder what happens if I send a 0 in, if it just breaks. I'm not worried about that right now. So now, as I have product change information, I'm gonna have to write a really interesting for. And I don't know if I've got the brain power right now to do that. So let's just see what other stuff we got on, because I'm not quite ready to do that. So performance dashboard, we have recipe request and store request. Timestamp. Done. And then we have product info and recipe. That's kind of basically the same thing right there. And then product schedule. We're not worried about product schedule, because that can be something that's done externally to us that doesn't really derive anything. We're waiting for that request to say, hey, we're adding new product information. Again, this is for more an accurate when things happen, say like when they make that request to get this data. So recipe management. Just group this. Call this get recipe info and return. Okay. Oh, that's done. We just did that. So some of these things I'm kind of duplicating. And quality dashboard, OEE dashboard. I'm gonna say, we're actually getting pretty close. yeah, we're gonna probably call it today. Um, I'm not gonna be streaming this Thursday, so you'll see me next Tuesday. We're going to be focusing on finishing this up. I might have this query done because that's going to be something that it's not going to be fun watching me chew on that one. And yeah, we'll have that ready for you guys, and then we'll start working on dashboarding. Might get some help maybe so we can do some dashboarding quickly, and go from there. Start packaging this up. So I appreciate everybody following along. We're gonna cut a little bit early out today, about 30 minutes early, and look forward to chatting with you next time.